All right, everybody, time for some injury related updates here on this Monday night. And as it is Monday night and the Seahawks don't play for another 6 days, the updates are going to be somewhat vague and inconclusive and not super telling, but they're the updates that we have. So that's what we're going to work with. And we'll try to parse through the language here and see what we can get. So here's what we know right now. Obviously, the big one for most people is going to be Woolen because Woolen got hurt yesterday. Woolen, he's a big part of what we do on defense. Everybody wants to see Woolen and Witherspoon at cornerback for this team, I think. So we are definitely going to be tracking this very closely this week. But when asked about it, Pete Carroll couldn't offer anything specific, which makes sense because it just happened. That he does not yet have specifics on Woolen's shoulder injury, but said it's not a bad injury. It's mainly a matter of his comfort level. They've got to figure out how uncomfortable he is exactly what they said, according to Boyle here. And Curtis Crabtree follows up with Rico Woolen is sore today. That's all he could offer. Just says that it hurts. It's going to be one day at a time. So it doesn't sound like anything's broken or torn or anything like that. It's just, it hurts. And in order for him to play, it just has to start hurting less or ideally not hurting at all. And that kind of thing, it's hard to give a timetable. It's hard to say, oh, he'll be ready for this game, he'll be ready for that game. I will say that this upcoming game against Carolina, at the risk of saying something like this and looking looking like I got it completely wrong again, that Carolina wide receiver core is not exactly a wide receiver core that you should need all your horses against. But obviously, if he can go, then he can go. So Rico Woolen, we're just going to have to wait and see, I think. And we may not necessarily get any updates going forward because, again, it's a matter of pain. So that's the Rico Woolen update. We also got a little bit about DK Metcalf. According to Pete, he is sore, but he had a good day today. So that sounds promising. Now, if yesterday taught you anything about DK Metcalf, hopefully it taught you that he's tough. Because he was in pain. You could tell, I think. And the fact that he's sore today tells you he was probably in pain during the game as well. But he went back out there. He toughed through it. He made multiple plays and helped us win that game. And without him, I don't know if we do it. We needed him out there, and he was like, okay, I'm going to play through this. And he did. So, whatever you want to say about DK Metcalf in terms of some of his concerns about maturity, concerns about some of his extracurricular antics, he's tough. He's already got the big contract, so he didn't need to go out there and play through the injury, but he did, and I respect him a lot. And I appreciate that, and I think you guys should too. So can't really derive any kind of a timetable here because again, it's just a matter of pain, it seems like. Pete, according to Greg Bell, also went on to say about the ribs, because that's what's injured for Metcalf, he's going to need a couple days recuperation. So, sounds like he might miss some practice time because of pain tolerance. Is pain something that's going to keep Metcalf out of a game? I kind of doubt it. So, I'm not too worried about Metcalf missing this Carolina game or any other game because of this. Obviously, if it gets worse, then that's a different story. But it seems to me that he's just going to miss some practice time to try to manage the soreness and the pain, but there's no real significant injury there. So I'm going to call that good news because even though he went back in that game and made plays, I thought it was pretty obvious that yesterday he was not 100% and he still was working through some stuff and doing what he could. So good news on the Metcalf front, but unfortunately we're not getting any definitive statements from Carroll or anyone else because there are probably no definitive statements to offer as of now. So that gets us to kind of the grand finale. And this is kind of the ongoing saga that whenever it finally ends, it's going to be a big boom. But yeah, I'm talking about Jamal Adams. John Boyle with the tweet here. Pete Carroll says Jamal Adams will have a full week of practice, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play. We're not talking about that yet. We want to see how he looks after a week of practice. So it's very rare you see an NFL player practice in full over the course of a week and then not play. But what Pete is basically saying is that might be the case here because we need to see how he looks after the practice, and it's entirely possible that we determine he's not ready for the game. Maybe that has to do with the nature of the injury he's coming back from. Maybe that has to do with the fact that they know he needs to be going at 150 miles an hour to be effective out there, so they're not going to let him mess around when he's not capable of doing that, even if he's capable of practicing. So, this comment from Pete, and he did go on, John Boyle's got another tweet here, full go in practice this week, but they don't yet know if he'll play Sunday or if his return will come the following week. So the good news there is, I guess, it's one of the two, right? One of the two. It's either going to be this Sunday or the next Sunday. But I saw another comment from Pete saying that they're going to monitor him closely for any setbacks, like they were aware of a distinct possibility of a setback on Adams' injury. So it almost seems like Carroll's trying to like soften the blow when Adams doesn't play against the Panthers. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. So I said yesterday that I feel like he was going to play this week, and now I don't know if I have that vibe. This to me sounds like Carroll basically trying to indicate they're going to slow roll this. And look, we're playing a Carolina team that is probably going through a little bit of a building up year more than a we're here year. They got a rookie quarterback. They lost assets in the trade to acquire that rookie quarterback. It's not a great team. That offensive line is a bit of a mess. They don't have very good receivers right now. They got problems. So I imagine you can err on the side of caution. And I know we kind of did that against the Rams maybe, and that ended up biting us. But just because something doesn't work once doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. Your goal should not be to be right in every single circumstance. Your goal should be to do the right thing. And if you get to game day and Jamal Adams could go one way or the other and you're thinking, okay, we're playing the Panthers, maybe you hold him back. I don't know. But these comments just gave me a not so great vibe about Jamal Adams this week. Next week, it does sound like he's basically saying it's going to be this week or next week, so that's good. But that, of course, we have to be prepared for a possible setback. Carroll already, like I said, Carroll made another comment talking about keeping a close eye on setbacks. And that's really about it. Unfortunately, we haven't heard anything about Mafe yet. The fact that Mafe was able to practice a little last week tells me that he'll probably be okay, but I'll feel a lot better when I actually see it. Devin Bush, I don't know what's going on there. Mike Morris, no updates there yet. Those are guys that I'd really like to learn something about, but Carroll had nothing to say. And that kind of makes sense. They didn't get hurt yesterday, so there probably isn't a meaningful update on them. But going to definitely monitor that as the week goes on. All right, so see you guys later. If you're watching this, I'm probably about to go live on Twitch, or I'm already live on Twitch with Baldur's Gate. Come watch, come have fun with my co-op partner. Going to continue on through Act 2. Hope to see you guys there, but if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow with more videos. Go Hawks.